Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how do I establish myself as a public speaker. Imagine yourself speaking to a crowd. The audience is hanging on to every single word. They clap and laugh at just the right times. And after the speech is over, they want to come up and shake your hand and learn more about you. This is possible. It's so within your reach. But there are steps, important, crucial steps that you need to follow in order to establish yourself as a public speaker. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to figure out your core message, the importance of your speaker assets, the importance of video, the importance of a speaker reel, and why experience is so important. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. What do you want to say? What do you want to tell people about? What is your message? What is the thing that makes you uniquely you, that only you can say? What is the thing that makes you different from all the other speakers out there? What makes your story unique? What makes your message different? In order to really tap into the power of your message for your speaking audience, you need to understand what sets you apart and also what connects you to the crowd. The people who are interested in listening to you speak, they're there for a reason. They want to learn something. They want to be inspired or motivated. They want to be driven. You can do that. You have the power to do that, but you really need to tap into what their pain points are, the struggles they're facing, the reasons that they're coming to listen to you in the first place. And ultimately, you have a message that's unique to you. You have a message that is different from every other speaker's message, and it's so meaningful to be able to tap into that and figure out what that is. And a lot of times that's driven by personal stories. You know, some of the best TEDx speeches or TEDx talks that I've watched online, they really focus on that personal story. They focus on connecting right away. You know, allowing the audience member to see how your story connects to the human experience and what they might learn from it. Yeah, and you think about, too, listening to a good public speaker, they are very clear about what you're supposed to take away from it. And they hammer these points home again and again and again. You know, when you listen to Tony Robbins talking, he's very clear about what he wants you to take away from the speech. You know, it's not this thing that you're just listening to and you're like afterwards, oh, what should I learn from this? What was the takeaway here? It's very obvious. They talk about it at the beginning, the middle, the end. There's stories that are driven throughout, that are tied throughout, that really connect the dots. But they're personal stories, they're narratives that connect. And this is really about connection. Once you figure out what your message is and why you're uniquely qualified to share that message, you have to think about gathering your video reel and other information, building a website, getting a one-sheet, kind of a PDF that talks about what you're speaking about in your contact info. People need to be able to find you, connect with you, you know, build on social media. There's so many things that you can do to get your speaking career going. You know, even if it's not really taking off yet, you can put things in place to help build that. You want a video reel to show people, prospective bookers, and people who might want to have you come and speak to their group, you know, what your presentation's all about. You know, and a lot of people early on will speak to a very small crowd, or they might actually get an empty room and just stand on the stage and talk. You know, I have friends of mine who've done that. You know, it is what it is. You have to start somewhere, and you can always update your speaker reel as you get better speeches. You know, you can, as you start getting bigger and bigger speeches, you can get new video and replace the old video. But people want to see what you're bringing to the table. They want to see how you present your information, you know, how you speak to the crowd. And it's so important to be able to have those assets available for people who might be interested in booking you. The next step is to get experience. Practice, practice, practice. You need to work at this. This isn't something that just happens. It's not something that was just built in a day. It's not something that, even though some people are uniquely situated and positioned to be able to speak publicly and are better thinking on their feet and less nervous in front of a crowd, there's still things that you can do to work on it. You know, thinking about where you look in the crowd, thinking about how you pause, thinking about, you know, the gestures you use, the hand gestures and other things. You want to be completely in control, and there's so many things that you can do to work on that. You can really, really work at it and get better and work on those little things. It's really just about those little things. But keep working at it, keep growing, and you can do that through experience. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Once you have that momentum building, it's so meaningful to be able to network and connect with people and do outreach. How are you connecting with new people? How are people finding you? It's not always just about having a website and social media. It's about outreach and networking. There are public speaking groups out there who you can reach out to. National Speakers Association and Toastmasters are two of them, and they actually have local chapters throughout the country. Additionally, there could be local TEDx talks or regional TEDx talks. Now, a lot of times TEDx talks will actually have a specific topic. So they will plan something months or up to a year in advance, and they'll have a specific topic, and then you can tailor your message to that topic. Or you can recognize, like, I'm going to skip this one, this isn't for me. Then there's an application process. And there's actually people out there who will help you prepare for those speeches. They will help you bring out the best of your story. They'll help you get the assets in place. There's people out there who can help put you in those pipelines. But on top of that, it's so meaningful to be able to do these things yourself. You can apply it to TEDx talks on your own. You don't need somebody to help you do it, although it's going to make it easier. So what are the groups locally, regionally? Maybe there's organizations you're a part of that you can go speak to. I have a friend of mine who is involved with youth coaching, in different organizations, and he's talking about being able to go to different organizations across the country and speak to them and speak to these groups of kids about inspiring them and what it takes to become a professional athlete, what it takes to become successful. So it's so meaningful to think about the organizations and outreach and networks that you have that you can build upon, because you probably know some people. Maybe you know somebody at a local business group that's interested in booking public speakers every month. So think about that. Think about how your message can translate and look for opportunities and connect with people who can then book you in opportunities. The next thing I want you to think about is how to position yourself as a thought leader. What can you do to build your credibility? I'll tell you what the best thing that you can do, in tandem to public speaking, is writing a book. Writing a book is a great way to build authority. It's a great way to have some other asset, something else that you can give to people. A lot of times public speakers could even give books in lieu of payment or as part of payment for a speech that, instead of taking a full speaker salary, maybe they're getting X number of books purchased and then giving them out to people who go to the speech. There's so many opportunities that can shake loose from book writing, and book writing is such a great way to build your authority. So if you're a public speaker, you really need to have a book. You really need to have a book because it's that next thing that you can give to people. And within that book, there's just truth bombs and knowledge and so much information that you can provide to them. And it's really an opportunity to take a journey with them, beyond the speech. That speech, you might have them for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or not even. That book is allowing them to connect with you and take a journey with you for hours on forward. And then they really say, okay, I understand this person. I'm so interested in their message and I want to connect with them as a coach, as a resource. I want to work with their company. There's so many things that can unlock from that book. That book is the power. The book, in addition to speaking, just go hand in hand. And it's so great when a public speaker can build on that authority with a book. If you're interested in learning more about how do I establish myself as a public speaker, I'd love to talk. I'd love to have a conversation. I am a book ghostwriter. I write books for people. Many of my clients are public speakers, and it's been awesome to see them take the leap, to take that next step, to take a journey with this book, with their public speaking, and seeing everything go hand in hand. So if you're a public speaker who's interested in writing a book, I'd love for you to check out my website. It's goodghostwriter.com. You can click the link below and book a strategy call with me. I would just love to connect and talk further and find out more about the message that you're sharing and give you some insights. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.